small joke for you. Knock, knock. I'm not there.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for actors who heavily modified their voice, whether through an accent or timbre, for a television role.
Any of you want to test who's got the biggest wrinklies round here? Step on up.
Number 30, Mark McKinney, Superstore.
Sweetie, great news. I'm getting a raise. There'll be money for the houseboat and for your mom's surgery.
Mark McKinney's interpretation of Glenn more than brought the character to life.
We don't want to make any mistakes, not with a secret shopper in our midst. Wait, is it mist or midst? Which one were the gorillas in again?
He said that playing Glenn was, quote, suspiciously easy, and even compared it to putting on an old pair of shoes. It's a good thing because McKinney seemed to undergo an almost spiritual transformation whenever he became the Cloud9 manager. His cartoonish, Muppet-like cadence seems so authentic, it's actually jarring when you hear the actor speak in his natural voice, which is much deeper and silkier than Glenn's.
I think everybody's met a character like Glenn, and I think audiences will recognize the type of person I'm playing in a heartbeat.
You would never know a character like Glenn lives inside him. Number 29, Brian Baumgartner, The Office. Kevin's voice is one of the most unique parts of his character.
We really don't do a lot of weddings. We actually don't play in public very often.
His delivery conveys to the audience almost as much about his personality as his lines of dialogue do. As Kevin, Brian Baumgartner adopted a slow, almost childlike delivery with a lower pitch.
I won the 2002 $2,500 no-limit deuce-to-seven draw tournament at the World Series of Poker in Vegas. So, yeah, I'm pretty good at poker.
In real life, however, he has a much more articulate and energetic speaking style.
And that's the other thing is when I get like young high school kids. Now, I walked out of a store the other day and they're like, Kevin, and I'm like, you weren't born.
Baumgartner has talked about how people are surprised when they hear his real voice, which is certainly a testament to how much he helped shape his character. Number 28, John Hillerman, Magnum P.I. Here's a man who managed to fool even native Brits. Texan and British accents are rather distinct from each other. So how John Hillerman managed to pull it off is incredibly impressive.
Brigadier General Alistair Folks has graciously invited all of Robin Master's guests to dine with him tonight. That, quite amazingly, includes you.
He worked for about a year with a voice coach in order to lose his native accent. From there, it's been said that the performer listened to Laurence Olivier in order to learn to speak in the middle/upper-class English accent he adopted for Jonathan Quayle Higgins III on Magnum P.I.
Yeah, well, what I'm talking now is what you would call standard American stage speech. Of course, for Higgins, I actually put on a rather mild English accent.
He was so convincing and so beloved as the character that he even took home a Golden Globe for the role.
Well, I prefer to be called private investigator. You prefer to be called, period.
Number 27, Robert Sheehan, The Umbrella Academy. No, you're not the only one who had no idea Robert Sheehan is Irish. His voice work as Klaus in The Umbrella Academy is so convincing it's fooled pretty much everyone.
I don't know where 5 is. I wasn't lying about that, but I can tell you that hasn't been making much sense since he came back.
Sheehan's native accent is completely absent in Klaus, which is especially praiseworthy with how naturally Sheehan manages to play him. He seems to make his voice floatier, lazier, and more eccentric in order to match the character's offbeat personality.
I can't just call Dad in the afterlife and be like, Dad, could you just stop playing tennis with Hitler for a moment and take a quick call?
In real life, however, the actor's tone has a deeper and sharper quality, and of course, that distinct Irish lilt.
Barry's tea versus Lion's tea. Now, I'm reading these off of a teleprompter, right? And Barry's tea, yeah, Lion's tea, spelt with an I. What a bunch of British morons.
Number 26, Melanie Lynskey, Togetherness.
Oh my God, your voice is throwing me, man.
Really?
This New Zealander is known for disappearing into American roles.
I am freaking out right now.
Really?
Like I might
What?
cry because I'm obsessed with you. I love you so much. Everyone in my life has been making so much fun of me.
We love her in 2.5 Men and in Yellow Jackets, but Togetherness is perhaps where her voice work is most impressive. It's undeniably subtle, blending seamlessly in with the rest of the US cast.
Oh, dude, so early, no.
While we've witnessed Lynskey execute regional accents skillfully, her character Michelle Pearson in Togetherness has more of a soft, everyday middle-class American accent. And it is unreal how Lynskey never seems to slip up.
Why don't you come out with us tonight? What? Come with me and Brett. Come on date night with us.
Because of her frequent involvement in American-based projects, Melanie Lynskey is a rare case where almost none of her characters sound like her in real life. Number 25, Toni Collette, United States of Tara.
Then I met my husband, and 3 days into what we now know is a relationship, I shaved my head to test him, see if he still liked me when I look like that.
Not only did this Australian actor pull off an American accent, she pulled off different vocal inflections too.
I only smoke when I party.
Well, this isn't a party.
This is you.
As a woman with dissociative identity disorder, her character Tara has several different alters who come up over the course of the series, each with their own unique personalities and manners of speaking.
Do you know how much it blows being 15 and stuck in this ancient body? I mean, look, I have a muffin top.
This can be difficult for actors to pull off in their native accent, never mind one from across seas. Collette manages it all flawlessly. Though we're familiar with her incredible range from Hereditary, The Sixth Sense, Little Miss Sunshine, and Knives Out, it gets to shine all in one place in United States of Tara.
Maybe I should have seen this coming. I can't deal with this right now.
Number 24, Alan Cumming, The Good Wife and The Good Fight.
I've also heard that you're toxic, and if I join your merry little band of political hobbyists here, I'm going to end up regretting it.
With Eli Gold's high-pressure job, it's no wonder he speaks the way he does. Rarely does he waste words, and he can often be heard cutting people off or delivering his thoughts impatiently.
This must be the faked photo. Do you have the original?
Nope.
The envelope it came in?
Thrown away.
Thrown away or destroyed?
Thrown away.
Well, that was clumsy.
Eli sits slightly higher in Alan Cumming's register, and the actor always ensures his tone is terse, clipped, and effortlessly American. It's why it's so surprising to hear him in interviews, where he lets out his expressive, playful nature.
But he's a massive fan of opera, as we all know. And, well, you don't, but he is. And,
He's also a Scottishman, which gives his real voice a rich, rolling quality. Number 23, James Marsters, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel.
Who am I kidding? I love to brag.
Even British actors on set didn't clock James Marsters' true dialect. In order to play Spike, Marsters dramatically reshaped his voice to be a rough Cockney accent with dropped R's, glottal stops, and elongated vowels.
I was actually at Woodstock. That was a weird gig. I fed off a flower person, and I spent the next 6 hours watching my hand move.
He's originally from California and definitely sounds like it, but you would never know that if you only know him from Buffy.
We work well together because, frankly, we both always know our lines really well, and that makes for spontaneity.
More than the accent change, his voice is also noticeably lower in pitch and grittier, which fits Spike perfectly. Marsters would go on to say that doing the accent was stressful because he was constantly worried about slipping, but we think he did phenomenally.
She makes me embarrassed because I used to be the quickest study that I ever knew, and then I met her, and she just puts me to shame.
Number 22, Matthew Macfadyen, Succession.
Sarah Snook, who's Australian, who plays Shiv, she and I have sort of accent days where we're like, we can't do this. We just can't do it. Everything sounds weird.
Born in England and having lived in Scotland, Matthew Macfadyen should have had a lot more trouble putting on as good of an American accent as he does. Not only is it completely authentic sounding, but Macfadyen is also able to code switch as his character depending on who Tom is interacting with.
It's incredibly accurate. Every time you look at it, it tells you exactly how rich you are.
That's very funny. Did you rehearse that?
No. No. Yes. But
with Greg, for instance, he often takes on a mocking or condescending tone. With Shiv, whose actress Sarah Snook also does a great American accent, he's a lot more subdued. Macfadyen also employs vocal tics for Tom, like nervous laughter and voice cracks when he's been caught off guard.
And my voice goes very high with Sarah, partly through fear, Tom's fear of Shiv.
Yeah, of course.
So I start, it's very like, honey, no.
Number 21, Peter Dinklage, Game of Thrones. There are a number of actors who adjusted their voices in order to play Game of Thrones characters, but we think Peter Dinklage in particular deserves a lot of acclaim for his voice work. The New Jerseyan managed a remarkably refined and natural-sounding British received pronunciation accent.
I've always wanted to see the wall.
You're Tyrion Lannister, the Queen's brother?
My greatest accomplishment.
Unlike his faster, more casual speech, Dinklage delivers lines more slowly as Tyrion, often pausing for effect.
Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor.
As a result, his character manages to sound commanding and calculated without ever overdoing it. It cements Dinklage as the perfect choice for Tyrion.
I'm sort of maybe cynical about if something feels that good.
It's not gonna
work. Nobody's gonna buy this.
Number 20, Yael Stone. Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black's Yael Stone brought life to the quirky character of Lorna Morello.
They let you drive? What? Who else is gonna do it? We do everything around here.
The character's thick, high-pitched Boston accent is iconic, but in real life, Yael Stone's voice is quite different. She has an Australian accent and a grounded demeanor, with a more serious tone than the character she portrays.
Heated looking at phone, looking up, looking down, looking up, more perturbed, looking down, and then weird smile.
Hearing her natural voice goes to show how versatile Stone is as an actress, and makes you appreciate the incredible amount of effort and talent that she put into portraying Lorna.
I don't know if there's anyone that talks like this. It's a crazy thing. I'm not sure. I don't know. There may be a little of maybe Adelaide from Guys and Dolls in there.
Number 19, Matthew Rhys, The Americans. Matthew Rhys is a talented Welsh actor with a portfolio of compelling performances in American television. He gained widespread acclaim for playing Philip Jennings on The Americans.
That's against spies, right?
Exactly.
Have to make sure I don't do any spying around here.
Oh, you better not. Especially for those Russians.
Oh yeah, they're the worst, right?
The Soviet spy really had to perfect an American accent to blend into the 1980s Washington, D.C. suburbs. Not only is Rhys's accent captivating, but so is his ability to portray the morally complex character.
I don't know why you should trust me. You should hate me. You should probably shoot me. But we're getting in that car.
To the surprise of a lot of fans, his voice is nothing like Philip's. He has a rich and melodic natural Welsh accent, which makes him sound distinctly charming. Philip is often stoic and brooding, but in interviews, Rhys appears relaxed and humorous, showcasing just how phenomenal his acting talents are.
Whether you're watching rugby or singing songs or, tearing up at Tom Jones, that is unwavering in me, which is great for, for what I do, which is, running away in flights of fancy.
Number 18, Dominic West, The Wire.
You do any accents? English, British, Scottish, something like that?
Crikey. I was looking to get a little hanky-panky, and this one bloke gave me this number to call when I got across the pond.
Work on it, son. Work on it.
After watching The Wire, many people will believe Dominic West, the actor behind Detective Jimmy McNulty, was a Baltimore local. If you've ever heard him speak in real life, you'll know he sounds nothing at all like his character.
Whenever I open my mouth, I'm in a room full of Wire fans, I'm conscious of a sort of rather deflation of oh dear. He's not McNulty.
In reality, he has a charming English accent with a refined tone that majorly contrasts with McNulty's manner of speaking. Beyond The Wire, West has shown versatility in a variety of roles, such as his portrayal of Prince Charles on The Crown. West masterfully embodied Jimmy McNulty, a flawed but captivating protagonist. But his real-life persona is far removed from the gritty world of Baltimore's crime-riddled streets.
With Snap Boogie always stole the money. Why'd you let him play? God, this America, man.
Number 17, Jodie Comer, Killing Eve. Fans of the hit series Killing Eve will quickly become familiar with Jodie Comer's character Villanelle. She's a stylish Russian assassin with ruthless efficiency and playful charm.
Aren't you always a different person?
Aren't you? At least I'm good at playing someone else.
Well, not that good, obviously.
Don't speak to me like that, Eve. I like you, but I don't like you that much.
Comer's portrayal is chillingly intense and one of the most memorable characters on television. But in real life, Jodie Comer has a strong yet soothing Liverpool accent.
A lot of people just look at me and think, is it her? But I had one recently that was really strange. Someone asked me for a photograph.
That is a big contrast from Villanelle's Russian brogue and distinctly theatrical tone. Comer's natural Scouse dialect is warm and friendly, unlike the sinister tones of the ruthless killer. She has an unparalleled ability to switch between accents, which is a testament to her talent.
She's just arrived from New York after one too many nights on the wrong side of the bridge. And she has a really, really, really annoying accent.
I like her accent.
Number 16, Daniel Davis, the nanny. Niles is a witty and sophisticated butler, portrayed by Daniel Davis on the popular 90s sitcom The Nanny. Niles is famous for his dry humor, sharp wit, and loyalty to the Sheffield family.
Mind you, with Miss Fine in the tournament, you'll have to take care of the children. Oh, that sounds like fun. Oh, dear. I think I'm coming down with something. Oh, it's getting worse.
His one-liners are some of the best in the show, with impeccable timing. Davis brought this character to life in such a way that fans still adore him more than 20 years later.
Oop, I'm dating myself.
Dating yourself? That's pathetic. Even you can do better than you.
His distinct English accent is also iconic, but he's really from Arkansas. Beyond The Nanny, Davis has had a diverse career, where he effortlessly shifts between characters and rarely speaks in his laid-back and relatable true voice.
I brought a pretty good range, having done a lot of classics, a lot of Shakespeare. And having grown up in Arkansas, I did not have the Southern accent.
Number 15, Catherine O'Hara, Schitt's Creek. A former wealthy soap star, Moira Rose still has the sensibilities of a one-percenter, despite having lost all her money.
This wine is awful. Give me another glass.
Her usual manner of speaking is noticeably deeper and more prim and proper than Catherine O'Hara's. This adds to the character's eccentricities, since it gives the impression that her voice is an affectation, even when she's trying to appear warm and friendly.
You've also graciously welcomed us into your heavenly Hamlet.
O'Hara, on the other hand, comes across as super approachable and down-to-earth.
I'm sorry I wasn't name dropping, I was just telling the truth.
The fact that she can sell this snobby upper-class character so well is just proof of her greatness.
Let's go. I've had enough waking hours for one day.
Number 14, John Barrowman, Doctor Who and Torchwood. If you've only seen American interviews with Barrowman, you might be wondering why he's on this list. His best-known character, Captain Jack Harkness, might be a product of British television, but he sounds decidedly American.
Woke up in bed with both my executioners. Lovely couple. They stayed in touch. Can't say that about most executioners.
And so does Barrowman. Most of the time. Although he was born in Scotland, he moved to the States when he was only 8 years old, and his typical accent is an unremarkable Midwestern one.
So, Captain Jack changed my life. It was also a character who changed the face of television.
As a result, however, when he finds himself among his fellow Scots, he reverts to his native Scottish dialect, and the difference is stark.
This is how I speak at home.
Yes.
When I'm with other Scottish people, it just happens. It's like being bilingual.
This is a phenomenon referred to as being bidialectal, which is when someone who grew up around two different accents can switch between them depending on which one they hear, and it's very cool.
I can't tell you what I'm thinking right now.
Number 13, Idris Elba, The Wire.
Your American accent has not always been that good. I refer
My
to...
insides are constricting for you right now.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, you do.
Dominic West isn't the only Brit pretending to be a Baltimorean on The Wire. By now, Idris Elba is famous enough that most people probably know he sounds nothing like his character Stringer Bell in real life. But when The Wire first hit airwaves, Elba wasn't such a big name, and many fans had no idea that his native dialect is quite different from the ruthless Baltimore crime bosses.
We got bosses that wouldn't know police work if it bit them in the ass.
Elba actually grew up in an inner borough of London, and his natural English accent has been said to be almost close to Cockney. Of course, his Baltimore accent is no less commanding.
That's like a 40-degree day. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about a 40-degree day.
Number 12, Jaleel White, Family Matters. Family Matters featured the unforgettable character Steve Urkel, portrayed by the legendary Jaleel White. White became a household name for this role, known for his suspenders, nerdy glasses, and his iconic catchphrase.
Did I do that?
Urkel was a clumsy but lovable character who became a cultural icon. In reality, White sounds completely different from the character who made him famous.
There is no Steve here. I'm Stefan, sweet thing. Stefan Urkel.
Urkel has a high-pitched and exaggerated voice, with quirky mannerisms and hilarious delivery. White's natural voice is much deeper and sounds significantly more mature. This makes you appreciate Urkel even more, as it showcases just how much talent Jaleel White brought to the table.
Yo, sweet thing.
Are you okay? Now sweat, my pet.
Number 11, Stephanie Beatrice, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Rosa Diaz is the quintessential no-nonsense, hard-nosed detective. Many of her colleagues are intimidated by her, and she has a somewhat deep, serious voice to fit her personality.
Plans are plans. I'm a badass, not an anarchist.
Stephanie Beatrice's natural pitch, on the other hand, is much more high to moderate.
I really loved the character. I wore all black. I wore my black leather jacket. I wore my black boots.
But die-hard fans might have noticed that Rosa's voice evolved over the course of the series. In Season 1, it was only slightly deeper than Beatrice's ordinary speaking voice.
Looks like the perp stole a computer, a watch, and a jamon iberico ham valued at, what, $6,000.
In later seasons, her pitch dropped considerably, to the point that by the show's end, Beatrice and her characters sound like completely different people.
Yeah, we know that. We're just surprised that you know that.
Number 10, Rose McIver, Ghosts. Samantha Arendaker is a cheerful young woman, despite being haunted by quirky spirits on the popular comedy series Ghosts.
They're not going to find anything because I now know there's nothing wrong with me.
Okay, but the doctor said...
That was the living doctor. Of course she thinks I'm delusional. She's not trained for this, but the ghost doctor...
Okay, that's where you start to lose me.
Actress Rose McIver does a masterful job at making Sam warm, relatable, and hilarious, with a light American accent. In fact, McIver is from New Zealand and has a fairly deep tone compared to Sam's upbeat and bubbly personality.
None of these have been shows that people kind of just disengage or, watch and kind of leave afterwards. It's like it seems to kind of build this collective creative thing that happens out of them. And
McIver has refined this accent across a variety of American roles, most notably starring as the undead Liv Moore on iZombie. No matter how dark the subject matter, her versatile voice always brightens things up.
They say you're welcome.
They? There's two of them?
Yep. Are we done here?
Number 9, Lucy Lawless, Xena, Warrior Princess.
So what do you guys think of the show?
I like the one who plays me. She's kind of sexy.
Lucy Lawless is synonymous with Xena, the heroic lead on the beloved fantasy action series Xena Warrior Princess. Her commanding presence captured the hearts of fans globally, making her an icon.
That was me once. And then... the water ripples and churns. That's what I became.
Lawless played the role with remarkable strength, resilience, and a rather arbitrary American accent. In reality, the actress hails from New Zealand and has a much softer and more relaxed voice than the tough, bold warrior princess.
Never done any kung fu, really no sports at all, and I had thought I was going to do Shakespeare. I thought I was going to go to England and study theatre.
Lawless's real-life personality is far removed from the mythological epic battles that Xena is known for, bringing further attention to her stunning range as an actress. Number 8, Pedro Pascal, Game of Thrones. Many people assume that the Chilean-born actor naturally speaks with a Spanish accent. It's not an absurd idea, considering that he sometimes uses one.
I am Javi.
But Pascal actually grew up in California and Texas, and his native accent is pretty standard American.
Yeah, I feel kind of Texan, actually.
Oberyn Martell was the first Dornish character to appear on Game of Thrones, so Pascal played an important role in determining what the people of the fictional Dorne would sound like going forward.
And after I turn sad, I grow angry.
Since he grew up in a family of Spanish speakers, it makes sense that this accent is the one that comes easily to him.
It is a big and beautiful world. Most of us live and die in the same corner where we were born and never get to see any of it. I don't want to be most of us.
Number 7, Maggie Wheeler, Friends. Oh my God. If you know Friends, then you know Janice, Chandler's mostly ex-girlfriend whose surprise reappearances eventually become a running joke.
Oh my God.
Janice's most distinctive feature is her voice. Loud, nasally, and extremely New York. It'd probably be pretty grating to listen to in real life, but her voice, along with her famous catchphrase, made her into one of the most beloved recurring characters on the series.
Okay, I'm gonna need a comforter, but do you have a hypoallergenic one? Because otherwise I get very nasal.
Although Wheeler drew inspiration for Janice from the New Yorker she grew up around, her real voice couldn't be more different.
Really, I heard her. I knew who she was to me.
It's almost jarring to hear it coming out of that familiar face.
That's fine.
It is?
Mm-hmm. Because I know that this isn't the end.
Number 6, Millie Bobby Brown, Stranger Things. 11 from Stranger Things is a young girl with peculiar psychokinetic powers and a hidden past. She's one of the show's central characters and was superbly portrayed by Millie Bobby Brown.
Mike. Yeah? Friends don't lie.
Her performance is powerful, and the character is known for speaking in a soft, childlike American accent. Brown, on the other hand, naturally has a strong, confident, and expressive English dialect. Granted, it has thinned from her growing up in the States.
I hate finger sandwiches. And I'm gonna just say that. Now, cold sandwiches are my dad and I's least favourite thing ever. Now, scones are delicious. Scones. I don't say scones, I actually say scones.
Beyond Stranger Things, Brown has taken on many other roles with a great variety of accents and voices. Brown's true voice and personality are a strong reminder of how dynamic her acting truly is.
I can fight.
Better than any of us.
Number 5, Melissa Rauch, The Big Bang Theory. Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz's high pitch and usually sweet intonation seem to fit with Rauch's diminutive stature.
Gosh, Amy, I'm sensing a little hostility. Is it maybe because, like Sheldon's work, your sex life is also theoretical?
That's one reason it's always surprising and hilarious when she suddenly belts out a line like Howard's mother.
Does he like the pancakes? He didn't try them yet!
In fact, the voice and the character have become so intertwined that fans sometimes don't recognize the actress when she's speaking in her natural tone.
Bernadette's voice is very similar to my mother's, except without the Jersey accent.
It turns out that Rauch is a bit of a vocal chameleon. She's done voice work for a number of animated shows and films, and even brought Harley Quinn to life alongside the incomparable Kevin Conroy.
Harley, there are lives at stake.
Oh my God! Yeah, the whole world's gonna plot. I get it.
Number 4, Cillian Murphy, Peaky Blinders.
Like I said about reprising characters, I'd never done that before, but to have these roles that are extraordinarily written in such great detail, and to be able to go back to them season after season, it's been a real gift for me.
Peaky Blinders focuses on the exploits of Thomas Shelby, leader of the Shelby crime family in 1920s Birmingham. Shelby is a cunning and ruthless character with a gritty working-class Brummie accent.
The only difference between you and me, Freddie, is that sometimes my horses stand a chance of winning.
In actuality, Murphy is from Ireland and possesses a soft melodic speaking voice with a soothing and charming affect. This is in stark contrast to Shelby's harsh voice, which has become as iconic as Murphy's performance. Birmingham's is considered one of the most difficult English accents to pull off, but Murphy makes it look as effortless as every other accent he's adopted in his distinguished career.
Would you like to see my mask? I use it in my experiments.
Number 3, Hugh Laurie, House. Laurie became fairly well known on the British comedy scene as part of his two-man act with Stephen Fry in the 80s.
Some of you may be wondering how my colleague came by this bandage upon his head.
It's very simple. A nurse put it on.
But many Americans were first introduced to him as the brilliant yet caustic Dr. Gregory House.
I think your argument is specious.
I think your tie is ugly.
He might be humble about his talent, but Laurie pulls off an American accent so flawlessly that lots of fans were shocked to discover he's actually British. House's voice is almost gravelly, while Laurie is a bit more soft-spoken with a polished and proper British dialect.
I just felt like it had to be, it had to be right.
Yeah.
Because it would get in the way if it wasn't right.
It's almost hard to believe that both voices come from the same man.
You can fake sincerity. You can fake pretty much anything.
Number 2, Andrew Lincoln, The Walking Dead. If you had told us in 2009 that Mark from Love Actually would totally nail the role of a Kentucky lawman in a gory zombie apocalypse show, we probably wouldn't have believed you. And yet that's exactly what happened. To portray Rick Grimes, Lincoln takes on an American accent with a light but noticeable twang, completely unlike his usual posh English speech.
I would say it's a work in progress, but it's a work in progress, apparently.
Rick's voice also gets progressively more gruff over the course of the series, reflecting the trauma and violence he's lived through. Lincoln disappears so completely into the part, it's easy to forget what he really sounds like.
That wasn't weakness. It took everything.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Megan Mullally, Will and Grace. Her name might not have been in the title, but Karen stole this show so many times, maybe it should have been.
He's a little nervous, he's a little nervous. Oh, hell, I'm a little nervous.
Thanks to Mullally's over-the-top performance and that impossibly squeaky voice, some of the funniest and most memorable moments come from when she's on screen.
Oh my God. This is the end of me. I don't think I can go on.
Of course, her real voice has a much more reasonable tone. Mullally admits that her risky acting choices haven't always paid off in the past.
Either I would come in with this crazy character, and I'd either not get cast, or I'd get cast and then get fired or almost get fired, or, you know.
Playing Karen with that absurdly high pitch was certainly taking a chance, but in the end, it's one of the things that made the character downright iconic.
Hi, my name is Karen Walker.
Oh my God, that voice is ridiculous.
Which actor's real voice were you shocked to hear for the first time? Let us know in the comments.
Hello. Okay. New teeth. That's weird. So where was I? Oh, that's right. Barcelona.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.